Red, man, straight out of St. Louis. She's currently turning down $40,000 features.
I bet she got HPV. I bet she done had chlamydia, gonorrhea, trigonometry, crabs, and whatever else that pussy can contract. Hell, you talking about she too motherfucking nasty, mannish, fierce at the mouth, and she ain't got them high dollar weed. Everybody done fucked her. Sexy Red say she like the raw dog. I bet it was plenty nappy head niggas, uncles and everything else. Raw dog and that little old pussy. Them hoes ain't looking at no how. Tell Sexy Red, little old bitch ain't nothing but a cum bucket.
Hey.
Yeah, I hate her. She's delivering a whore spirit amongst young girls. We've had a gangster spirit. The gangster spirit damn near wiped the young black males out.
Charleston White has never been shy about stirring controversy, but this time he crossed the line nobody saw coming. Instead of just clowning Sexy Red for her wild lyrics and outrageous persona, he went for something way deeper. He claimed to have receipts, what looked like an actual medical report, and he used it to brand her as, in his words, contaminated. But Charleston didn't just throw out insults. He doubled down with pictures, close-up shots of her face, pointing out marks he swore were proof of infection. Then he tied it all back to the very lifestyle she raps about. The raw hookups, the unfiltered sex talk, the booty hole brown anthems that made her famous. The internet reacted instantly. Social media exploded with memes, speculation, and nonstop debates. Fans weren't just laughing at Charleston's wild claims this time. They were digging. They pulled up old Instagram captions, club sightings, baby daddy drama. Every single moment Sexy Red was linked to another man. Suddenly, it turned into a digital detective case, with people piecing together who might be caught up in this chain Charleston hinted at. And here's the thing. This wasn't just gossip anymore. The moment Charleston dropped that alleged medical report, the story grew legs. Fans started asking questions like, who else could have been exposed? Which rappers were on his list? And most importantly, what if some of this is actually true? But the real shock came when Charleston started naming names. And not just random rappers. We're talking heavyweights. Artists so big, their involvement would change how fans see them forever. The first name Charleston White threw into the fire was none other than Gucci Third Leg. And for anyone who's followed his career, you already know the nickname comes with baggage. This is a guy who once bragged about sleeping with over 3,000 women. That number alone had people shaking their heads. But it gets worse. Gucci was already accused in the past of passing on herpes. And the kicker? The woman who made the claim said he knew about it while still hooking up with her. So when Charleston dropped his name alongside Sexy Red's alleged report, fans didn't hesitate to connect the dots. The history, the rumors, the reckless lifestyle, it all lines up a little too well. And the internet wasted no time reminding people that Gucci and Sexy Red were spotted together before. From club appearances to whispers about them linking up, the receipts started resurfacing fast. On top of that, Gucci has been openly involved with adult content creators, which only fueled the image of him living dangerously. To fans, that made Charleston's claims feel less like some wild rant and more like a possible reality. So when Gucci Third Leg ended up on Charleston's list, it didn't feel random. It felt like the start of a chain reaction that could stretch way further than anyone expected. But if people thought Gucci's name was the peak of the drama, they were wrong. Because the next person Charleston brought up wasn't just a rapper. He's one of the biggest stars in the world. If Gucci Third Leg had people raising eyebrows, the next name Charleston White dropped nearly broke the internet. Drake. Yes, that Drake. Now, this isn't coming out of nowhere. Fans have been speculating about Drake and Sexy Red for months. They've been spotted together multiple times, at clubs, sitting close on couches, even with his arm around her. At one point, Drake leaned in and kissed her on the cheek, and the clip spread like wildfire. Drake didn't shy away from it either. He posted a photo captioned, "Just met my future wife, Sexy Red," and she doubled down by reposting it with her own twist. "I'm your favorite rapper's rapper." That's not the type of exchange you can brush off as just casual. So when Charleston tied Drake's name to Sexy Red's alleged medical report, fans lost it. Suddenly, this wasn't just messy gossip. This was about one of the biggest names in hip-hop, someone who usually avoids this kind of drama. And the speculation got louder fast. If Charleston's claims were even partly true, what would that mean for Drake? For his image? For the dozens of women constantly connected to him? Fans started running with theories, saying this wasn't just about Sexy Red anymore. This was about what it could mean for the entire industry. And just when people thought Charleston couldn't top naming Drake, he came right back with another name, one just as legendary, but with even deeper ties to Sexy Red. After Drake, most people thought Charleston White was just name-dropping for clout. But then he brought up someone Sexy Red herself has openly admitted being close to, Chief Keef. And this time, there's no need for rumors. Sexy Red has been clear about her bond with Keef. She's called him her dog, her people's, and even admitted she likes him more than just a friend. In one interview, she flat out joked that Chief Keef might end up being her third baby daddy. That wasn't just talk either. Her connection to him was strong enough to spark drama with King Von's sister, Kayla B., who clashed with Sexy Red over Keef. That alone showed fans this wasn't just some industry friendship. There was definitely something deeper going on. So when Charleston White tied Keef's name into his so-called chain of exposure, the internet didn't shrug it off. They connected the dots instantly. If that alleged medical report really did belong to Sexy Red, then someone as close to her as Keef could easily be part of the fallout. And that's why Charleston's claims hit so hard. He wasn't just throwing out random names anymore. He was pointing to people who had actual public connections to her, connections that fans had receipts for. But Charleston wasn't finished, because after rappers like Gucci, Drake, and Keef, he widened the scope even further, and the next names made things a whole lot messier. By this point, Charleston White's lists already had the internet in chaos, but things got even wilder when fans realized it wasn't just rappers being tied to Sexy Red, there were other names in the mix too. First, the mystery man. Sexy Red posted a picture that sent social media into detective mode. She was lying in bed with someone whose face she kept hidden, only showing his feet. But sharp-eyed fans spotted something she probably didn't think through. The man was wearing an ankle monitor. That detail meant he was on house arrest, and instantly people started speculating about who he was. Whoever that mystery man turned out to be, fans were convinced Charleston's chain of exposure was already getting bigger. Then came Aiden Ross. Out of nowhere, the streamer went live and claimed he had been with Sexy Red. Not only that, he bragged she was the dominant one in the bedroom and admitted he reached out to her after watching her explicit tape. The internet was stunned. Sexy Red didn't stay quiet. She clapped back on social media, calling him a liar and saying he paid her to take his virginity. In another post, she even mocked him, saying he couldn't touch her with a stick. But by the time she fired back, it was too late. Aiden's clip had already gone viral, and fans were dragging his name into the same conversation Charleston started. The point was clear. Every man Sexy Red was linked to, whether confirmed or denied, suddenly carried a new level of suspicion. And if Charleston's alleged receipts were real, that suspicion wasn't just gossip, it was a warning. But just when fans thought they'd seen enough, Charleston kept pushing, and the next names he brought into this storm were even more unexpected. If Charleston White naming Drake and Chief Keef shook the room, The next names he threw into the mix had people straight up confused, because suddenly it wasn't just rappers being tied to Sexy Red. It was celebrities fans never expected. First up was Ray J. During a Twitch livestream, Ray J casually claimed that he and Sexy Red had hooked up on a flight. He said it like it was no big deal, just another wild Ray J story. But for fans, that was huge. Sexy Red quickly denied it, saying she only said hi to him and kept it pushing. But here's the question everyone started asking. If nothing really happened, then why did Charleston put Ray J's name on his list in the first place? And then came Huncho. He starred as Sexy Red's love interest in a music video, which at first just seemed like acting. But things got sticky when Sexy started dropping Instagram captions that lined up perfectly with the lyrics from that same video. Fans immediately began speculating that it wasn't just for the cameras, that there was something real going on between them. So when Charleston brought up Huncho in his claims, it hit harder, because if the relationship wasn't just acting, it would put him in the same chain of exposure Charleston was warning about. And that's why this whole thing kept snowballing. Every name that got mentioned, from rap icons to industry veterans to social media stars, turned Charleston's accusations into something much bigger than a joke. But surprisingly, the most jaw-dropping moment didn't even come from Charleston himself. It came from someone who knew Sexy Red on a personal level. Someone who made the drama way more believable than fans ever imagined. Just when you thought the drama couldn't get any bigger, Sexy Red's own baby daddy stepped into the storm. And this wasn't just a casual comment. He went on the record accusing her of burning rappers, implying that her alleged infections weren't just rumors. He even pulled out what looked like official paperwork to back up his claims, showing dates and details that made people stop and take notice. Fans immediately started connecting the dots, asking, if Charleston's alleged report is real, does this confirm it? But here's the twist. He later backtracked. He said he never actually caught anything and even showed proof that there was no active infection. That flip-flop didn't quiet the conversation. If anything, it made things messier. The spotlight stayed firmly on Sexy Red, and suddenly Charleston's claims felt more plausible. What made it even more dramatic was the timing. His accusations came after Charleston had already started leaking alleged names, meaning fans were looking at Sexy Red's entire circle with fresh suspicion. Each connection, each past hookup, and every name in Charleston's alleged report suddenly felt like part of a bigger ripple effect. By the time this played out online, it wasn't just about gossip anymore. It was a full-blown chain reaction, and Sexy Red's own baby daddy had thrown gasoline on the fire. And if that wasn't enough, Sexy Red herself added fuel to the narrative, turning admissions about her health into part of her brand, which made Charleston's claims hit even harder. If Charleston White and her baby daddy didn't already make headlines, Sexy Red herself made sure the internet stayed buzzing. She has a history of turning controversy into her brand, and this was no different. She's openly joked about her sexual health, even posting a fan photo outside the ER with dollar bills spelling out, "I want the STD," captioning it, "It's gone now, I took my meds." That's classic Sexy Red, taking something shocking and spinning it into humor. But she didn't stop there. Her lip gloss brand features names like gonorrhea and yellow discharge, literally playing into the drama surrounding her sexual reputation. Fans immediately recognized this as her way of embracing controversy, turning it into clout. And there's more. In interviews, she admitted to having chlamydia twice, both times after breaking up and then getting back together with the same partner. She described the shock of noticing something smelled off and having to figure out who it came from. All of this made Charleston White's alleged report feel far less like a random attack and more like a continuation of what Sexy Red had already revealed herself. Every admission, joke, and brand move lined up with the narrative Charleston was pushing, that her sexual history could have ripple effects on the people around her. And once fans saw these patterns, they started connecting even more dots. Every hookup, every name, every public moment suddenly carried weight, making the drama feel bigger than just a social media spectacle. If you thought the drama surrounding Sexy Red couldn't get any bigger, Lord Jamar stepped in and added a new layer of intensity. Known for speaking his mind, he didn't hold back. He publicly clowned Sexy Red, saying she looked like the type of girl who would make a room smell like someone was just doing it in there. But he didn't stop at a joke. Jamar referenced a video where Sexy Red herself admitted her own personal hygiene had issues, and fans immediately saw the connection. Suddenly, Charleston White's alleged report didn't feel random or exaggerated. It lined up with commentary from another voice in the industry. This made the situation even more explosive. The combination of her own admissions, Charleston's leaked report, and Lord Jamar's blunt observations created a pattern. Fans started seeing it not as random gossip, but as a story with layers of credibility, a chain of events and connections that couldn't easily be ignored. And as the internet dissected every detail, the focus shifted. This wasn't just about cloud or shade anymore. It became a larger conversation about accountability, celebrity culture, and how quickly rumors can ripple into real-world consequences. With Lord Jamar's commentary in the mix, Charleston White's leaks gained even more traction. Every claim, every name, every rumor suddenly carried weight, leaving fans wondering how far the chain really went.